Hello, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, which I had all set up, and then the computer crashed, and then it was a nightmare to try to get it back up again. And the thing was, since I was out of town last week, I turned off the computer. And guess what? Turning off the computer means that everything is in chaos when it loads back up. So I apologize for not having a silent film to show you initially. What are we going to show you? I've been scrambling to kind of get things back up and running. Let's watch a NASA film, Celestial Mechanics and the Lunar Probe. Enjoy.
Our solar system is a little over 400 years old. Not the real solar system, of course, but the solar system as we know it. It was handed to us by Nikolai Copernicus, and it made him very unpopular since he upset the ancient and very human idea that the Earth was the center of the universe. In his solar system, all of the planets swung in circles about the sun, just as the moon swung around the Earth. And gradually, over these 400 years, we've accepted his solar system as our solar system. We've also accepted, reluctantly, our Earth's smallness. Given a sun this size, the Earth is this size, and this far away, 93 million miles. Not really too far as such things are measured, but far enough to make us feel pretty unnecessary. But we do have company. The moon is 1/4 our diameter and averages a scant 240,000 miles away. Scant, that is, until we think about trying to get there. The moon's orbit is slightly elliptical, and the Earth is a bit closer to one side than the other, a great convenience, since it causes the moon each month to approach about 10,000 miles closer to us than its average distance. While the moon is going around the Earth is moving in a nearly circular orbit around the sun, one trip each year. Throughout this time, of course, the Earth, tipped at an angle of 23.5 degrees, is spinning about itself, producing the well-known 24-hour day. So we have the Earth spinning on its inclined axis, the moon revolving around the Earth, and both making an annual circuit around the sun. All of this takes place within several larger motions, of which we can ignore all but one for now. Using the Earth's orbit as a straight line going through the center of the sun and the center of the Earth, we let this line act as a reference, as though we're floating the Earth in a tank. Then, let's swing the moon and its orbit around the Earth and make the plane of the moon's orbit a thin disk. Now, while the moon is continuing counterclockwise, the disk is moving clockwise or backwards around the Earth, keeping the high side always the same distance above the water. In reality, to complete just one cycle of this continuous motion requires slightly more than 18.5 years. To further explain what happens during this backing up motion of the moon's orbit, let's look at it from above. We find that this is such a slow and stately motion that each time the package makes its yearly trip around the sun, the plane of the moon's orbit backs up only a little less than 20 degrees. This line formed where the moon's orbit and Earth's orbit meet is called the line of nodes. These then are the motions with which we're principally concerned. The cautious backing of the line of nodes, the spinning of the Earth on its axis, the path of the moon circling the Earth, and their annual swing about the sun. Now, what does all this have to do with the lunar probe? Everything. Everything because all of these swings and gyrations affect the distance between the Earth and the Moon. And this distance, more than anything else, is the ultimate enemy we have to overcome. Thus, our delight that the Earth is not at the center of the Moon's orbit, since this means that for nearly half the lunar month, the trip is shorter than it is during the other half. The difference between the least distance and the greatest distance being almost 10%. Since our lunar probe launching site is in the northern hemisphere, the half of the month in which the Moon's orbit lies north of the equator is better for us than the other half, again, because the Moon is closer during this time. Actually, with our present systems, there are about 4 days centered about the time the Moon's track is farthest north each month, which give us our best shot at the Moon. And naturally, when the Moon is at the limit of its northerly passage for the month, the center of this 4-day period gives us the best moment. The backing of the line of nodes, or rather, the backing of the plane of the Moon's orbit, also affects the distance to be traveled. Now, as the plane of the Moon's orbit slowly backs around the Earth once every 18½ years, and we look at the Moon the same time every month from the same point on the Earth, year after year, we find that the Moon bobs up and down like a cork float as waves pass under it, with 18½ years between waves. Midway in this 18½ year cycle, the Moon reaches the low point in the swing, the trough in the wave. It is then at its most southerly passage. Slightly over 9 years later, as the plane of its orbit keeps backing, the Moon is once again at the top of the wave, the upper limit of its northerly passage. Obviously then, since our launching site is in the northern hemisphere, at this latitude, the nearer our latitude the backing of the Moon's orbit allows the Moon to pass, the better, since it puts the Moon closer to passing overhead, with the distance to it less and less. Thus, we also have a best year, once in every 18½ Distance saved, between 4,000 and 5,000 miles. Last best year, 1950. But even the best combination of bests lessens only a little the incredible difficulty of launching a successful lunar probe. What follows is one of the simplest of many possible trajectories and sets of conditions. Each of the 3 stages, charged with boosting the rocket to a speed of 25,000 miles an hour and guiding it along a preset path, drops away in turn, until finally the 4th stage plunges silently towards the rendezvous point with the Moon. A point a little more than 2 days and slightly less than 250,000 miles away. The first day, the 4th stage slows. The second day, our rocket is in the Moon's path, but 1,000 miles ahead of it. The retro rocket fires, triggered by a signal sent from Earth. The probe slows from more than 5,200 miles an hour to slightly over 2,900 in less than 10 seconds. And the Moon gathers it in and sweeps away through space with it. The probe, circling the Moon 1,000 miles above its surface at a speed of over 2,900 miles an hour, makes a complete trip in about 4 hours and a half. And so, the lunar probe, held firmly in its orbit by the Moon's gravitational field, sends information about its new parent back to its old, 240,000 miles away. Simple? Hardly. But then, nothing that's really worth doing ever is.
So that film predates NASA. That's really awesome. There was a NACA, which was a specifically related to aviation, and that I kind of got folded in together. But yeah, that was those initial ideas about space travel and rocketry were Department of Defense related. Okay, so behind me I have a film scanner set up, and hopefully it'll work. Oh, great! The webcam is messing up. Man, today technology. All right, well, hopefully this is going to work. So I did a show at the Alamo in Naples, Florida, which has a miniature golf theme, and they asked me to program films about golf. So I'm going to show you one of the reels. So this will start off with Three Faces of Stanley, which is about colorectal cancer, rectal cancer, and golf. Enjoy.
This is my husband, Stanley. Stan's just a shade past 40. He works hard, takes good care of his family, plays a little golf, enjoys a ball game now and then, worries about his waistline, and has a healthy respect for cancer. He's alert to cancer's 7 warning signals. But Stan and I have found a way not to worry about cancer. We pay an annual visit to our doctor.
Mm-hmm. Heart's okay. No problems here. Your lungs look great. Now step over here, Stan. The digital exam doesn't show anything. But Stan, I'd like to do a more complete check.
Why? Is anything wrong?
No, but when you leave your 30s, it's a good idea to have a proctosigmoidoscopic examination as part of your yearly physical.
No. Well, I don't...
Cancer of the colon and rectum will strike about 73,000 Americans this year, more than any other type of cancer except skin. And it occurs about equally in men and women. More than 44,000 will die of it annually, though almost 3 out of 4 patients might be saved by early diagnosis and proper treatment.
But didn't you just check that?
Yes, but look. Only a small part of cancers of this tract occur within reach of finger examination. But most can be spotted with the sigmoidoscope, a lighted tube that lets the doctor look directly at the walls of the colon. It's those facts that caused me to brush up on proctoscopy and recommend it as a part of the yearly physical for my patients. Anything less just isn't good enough. As you know, the biggest danger is not just a cancer's growth, since the resulting tumor can be removed.
Yeah?
The real danger occurs when cancer cells start breaking off and traveling to other parts of the body, starting new colonies of the cancer, called metastases, wherever they settle. That's why it's important to find cancers early before this happens. With the proctoscope, beginning cancers can be found when the chances of recovery are best, long before you're aware of any symptoms.
Wait, sure.
How about it, Stan? Shall we have a look?
Gee, Doc, I'm nearly late for a meeting now. I'll have to check my schedule and make a new appointment.
Fine. Call me when you're free. It doesn't take much time. More than 44,000 will die annually.
But the doc said he didn't find anything wrong. I feel fine, so why am I worrying?
Almost 3 out of 4 patients might be saved by early diagnosis and proper treatment.
But he said I could have cancer right now and not know it, and still feel fine. And that's when the chance of recovery is best. I hope it's terrible. Oof. Get it. No.
Nothing serious, Stan. Just a little cold. By the way, you didn't call back about that procto.
No, I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yet? It's been 3 months.
I just never think of it at the right time.
I think it's more than that. Let me show you. You see, Stan, all of us are really a combination of personalities, and you're no exception. There's the childish aspect of your personality. Let's call him Stan Jr. He's a little bit irresponsible, and he likes to put things off.
But I'm not a kid anymore.
No, you're not. You're a guy with lots of experience who knows how to evaluate information and take appropriate action. And you're still another guy who respects traditions, knows right from wrong, and is concerned about meeting his responsibilities.
What is you?
But Stan Jr. didn't go away. He's still there. And a good thing it is, too. He's in charge of the fun department. He knows how to have a good time. But he doesn't like to think ahead. Everything is now. And he's scared of pain. And when he's scared, he's remarkably stubborn. Put them all together and we have a pretty good mix. But when they disagree, like now...
40% mortality, colon and rectum cancer, excellent survival probability if diagnosed early. Early diagnosis achieved through exam. Have exam. No, I'm not going. Don't be silly. It's for your own good. It's the practical thing to do. I won't, but you must go. You can't make me.
All right, you guys, knock it off. We're not getting anywhere arguing about it. Why don't you go on home and think about it, Stan? But find out what Stan Jr. is afraid of. Remember how stubborn he is when he's scared.
Find out what Stan Jr.'s afraid of? Well, what is he afraid of? Doctors poke and hurt, and they say it won't hurt, but it does. And they use big words so you don't understand. And they sneak up behind you.
Rubbish. That's ridiculous. Whoever heard of such a thing?
But fear is not always reasonable. What else? Maybe he'll find something wrong. That'd be real scary. He can't find something unless it's already there. And if it is, it won't get better by itself. Yeah. Hi, Arch.
Hi, Stan. How's it go?
Oh, my doctor is giving me a bad time lately.
Oh, yeah? What's the matter?
Well, have you ever heard of a procto exam?
Is that what's worrying you? Here, grab the putter.
Okay, Arch.
Oh, yeah, I get a procto once a year now, Stan. Whoop, keep your eye on the ball.
But didn't it hurt? Weren't you embarrassed?
Hurt? No, it's just a little bit uncomfortable. And embarrassed? Heck no, the doctor and nurse are pros, just like me. Well, that's her job.
Seems foolish to spend money just to find out you didn't need to.
Yeah? You can't sell me on that. Turns out I had cancer of the colon, but they caught it early because I had the examination.
Is that so? I always heard doctors couldn't do much for cancer of the bowel.
Yeah, I guess that used to be true. After my operation, the doc told me that just a few years ago, he probably couldn't have saved me. Says surgery's come a long way. Believe me, I have that exam regularly. And so does my wife. That exam saved my life. Hey, Stan, where you going?
You know what I always say, Arch. When you want to be sure, go see a pro. See you later.
You know, I've been putting this off, too. I think I'll go with him. Stan, wait a minute. Stan? Stan?
So Hal Smith, the voice of Stanley, shows up every once in a while in the other films. He, of course, was the wonderful character actor who plays Otis the Drunk in the Andy Griffith Show. All right, time for the next film, which is straight up golf. Straight up, no cancer in this one. At least diagnosed cancer. Oops. Wow, my splice just died. Oh, 1 second, please. While I fix the splice. Let's do a. Wow, that just fell right apart. Crazy. So I'm doing a tape splice. You can't really see, and I dare not move that webcam because it will crap out and maybe cause the iMac to crash. Because it seems like I have everything very it's like a house of cards with the technology and the cables that I have for some reason. I don't know why it's not as robust as it should be, but there you go. So anyways, I did tape splice. You can do a cement splice, but I found that cement splicers take longer, and they actually cut into half of a frame, and you have to scrape the emulsion, and the tape splices is just a lot easier. It sounds like the pizza has, or the oven has been preheated for the pizza. So we'll get started with that as soon as we get this next film rolling. Alright, let's see, go, go, go. No. Try it again. That's the thing, is we do this live. We're a pre-recorded show. We don't have nearly as many technical problems. Oh, come on, really? All right, here we go. Enjoy.
Comes back as close as possible along the line of flight, starting close to the ground. And in the downswing and follow-through, the club head follows as close as possible along the line of flight. The left hand controls the length of the backswing. There is a minimum of wrist action, and for this very short shot, a very slight hinging of the right elbow. The left arm stays extended throughout the swing. The left elbow never bends. The left hand leads the swing, always ahead of the club head. It's a crisp, accelerating movement through the ball. And at the end of the swing, the arms are extended toward the target, the club head held low. That's the pitch and run swing for the shortest shot. Farther away from the green, the swing lengthens and strengthens more and more as distance increases. It's the same feeling you get when you're tossing a ball. The greater the distance, the longer the swing, the more strength you put into the toss. Further back, stronger toss, longer follow-through. It's a natural lengthening toward the full swing, taking on more and more of the character of the full swing, except for three very important factors: the open stance, the greater acceleration through the ball, the firm extension of wrist and arms controlling the length of the follow-through at the end of the shot. Those are the factors that make the pitch and run swing different and give you a working ball, a ball with some life in it when it lands. Here's an exercise to help you get the feeling of that steady body. Stand with your weight on your left foot, your right foot merely bracing. Swing the club with your left arm only, arm extended, wrist leading. Feel that steady balance in your body, practically no body movement. Now, the same with your right arm. Let your right elbow hinge slightly, keep it down. A minimum of wrist action, still a minimum of body movement. Now, both hands. A steady body with all conscious movement in your arms. To get the feeling of left-hand leadership with a minimum of wrist action, stand in the address position and move your hands forward along the line of flight until only the toe of the club touches the ground. Now, swing the club back and forth in a stroking movement, with the toe of the club scraping the ground. Like all drills, these exercises should be repeated regularly for short periods to build strength and acquire habit. Practice enough with that pitch and run swing, and you will be able to pitch and run accurately from off the edge of the green. For longer shots, simply lengthen and strengthen your swing, and you'll find that from far out on the fairway, you can land the ball on the green and make it run up for a chance to one putt, that alive, working ball under control. But there will be times when you don't want such a live ball. You'll want it to drop in the green and roll a very short distance. You can make that shot with an adaptation of your pitch and run swing. Use a very lofted club, a 9-iron or a pitching wedge, and let your wrists have a part in your backswing. This is a pitch shot. The swing is the pitching swing. Here's the difference between the pitch and run shot and the pitch. In the pitch and run shot, your ball is in the air for about a third of the distance and rolls about 2/3. In the pitching shot, your ball is in the air much more of the distance and rolls very little. Here's the swing again. Very similar to the pitch and run swing, isn't it? But here are the differences. There's your pitch and run swing. Now for the pitching swing. Same address position, the same start for the backswing, a straight extension of arms and wrists at the start. But this time the backswing is longer and the wrists hinge gradually during the backswing. On the downswing, the left hand still leads with a firm wrist, the right hand supporting the acceleration. It's a swing, more like your full swing, and the club head swings on through to end with the club head pointing in the direction of the shot. Practice the pitching swing for a while. Just add wrist action to your pitch and run swing. Practice enough to add pitching to your golf skills. Practice inside and on a practice hole outside until the movement becomes a habit, and you can vary the length of your swing according to the length of the shot, just as in your pitch and run swing. Then those situations that require more loft and a minimum of roll will not frustrate you. They'll do nothing more than increase your satisfaction from the game. Hitting a ball out of the sand requires a different club and a slightly different swing, but it can be a really thrilling shot. It's called an explosion shot. The club has a flat, broad flange to keep the head from digging deep, and the swing is so controlled as to allow the club head to enter the sand behind the ball and let the compression of the sand pop the ball up into the air. Actually, the club never touches the ball. Compression of the sand transfers the force of the swing to the ball. Your swing is like your pitching swing with two small differences. Here's the pitching swing. Open stance, steady body, left arm leading, with a wrist hinge in the backswing and a slight shift of weight forward. Now the difference for sand. As you address the ball, remember the rules of golf forbid you to ground your club in the sand. Adjust the club in your grip slightly so the face of the club is slightly open. That will give your ball a higher trajectory. Then pick a spot an inch or two behind the ball, depending on the distance the ball must travel. The shorter the shot, the farther behind the ball you must hit the sand. Here's the other important difference. In your pitching swing, the plane of the swing was in the direction of the line of flight. For your explosion swing, the plane shifts slightly outside the line of flight in the backswing and comes through across the line in the downswing. On the backswing, the club is taken slightly on the outside of the line of flight. Coming down, the club head is drawn slightly across the line of flight. This produces a high, soft flight of the ball, allowing it to land with very little run. There's your target. Swing through that spot, drawing the club head across the line of flight ever so slightly. Swing with a strong left hand to pull the club head through the sand. In all other respects, your sand shot will be the same as your pitching shot. But be sure you swing through the sand in the same follow-through you use in pitching. When you need a sand shot swing, you need it badly. No other swing will do in that situation. So visit the practice trap often and practice your explosion shot. Have it ready. With this and your other swings, you're ready for any situation golf will present you on or off the fairway. Golf courses are shrewdly designed to test your ability with the game's basic swings. Whenever it can, a course will challenge you with a hazard that demands your best performance with one of the swings. Develop these swings to a high point of skill, and the threat of a hazard becomes a challenge, and the challenge becomes a thrill of achievement.
All right, I dare not go back to the webcam because it might not switch over. I thought for sure that I had moved it over so that you could watch the beginning of that fine film about pitch and running for sand traps, etc. What is going on? Hold on. Let me stop this.
Muscles that form a habit, the same coordination every time. That's what the golf swing is all about. By now, your muscles are probably starting to develop their individual habits in your swing. They're feeling the rhythm, back and through. And the flow of power, coiling, and unleashing through your whole body. while holding the center steady. The consistent plane. And the wide arc your arms make. All these are probably starting to become a habit. You're developing a swing. So let's get down to some of the fine points that will give you control of direction and distance. Direction first. How to hit the ball straight. Both arc and plane should be in line with the direction you want the ball to go. The key point in direction is right here, the moment of impact. Everything you do in your swing, before and after this moment, shows up right here in its effect on the flight of the ball. Here's why. A line from your ball to the target is the course you want your ball to follow, the target line. To drive the ball accurately along that line, the club head at the moment of impact must be traveling exactly along the target line, with the club face exactly at right angles or square to the line. If either your club face or the path of your club as it meets the ball is not square to the target line, the ball has got to go in another direction. It's simple physics. So your control objective is to bring the club face through the ball, along the target line, and square to the target line. You can do that simply by building controls into your swing. It starts at the point where you and your club join forces. Your hands, how they grip the club firmly enough to hold the club face square to the target and absorb the shock of its impact with the ball. You'll develop this feeling of firmness through experience, a grip just strong enough to hold the club face square to the target line at impact. How do you learn it? Here's one approach.
All right, now one of the most important things we have to do now is learn to place our hands properly on the club. Your left hand being so important, we're going to start with your left hand. I want you to do like this. Just Gary and I are going to take just like we're going to shake hands, but with the left hand instead of the right. Put your hand out there, Gary. You see, I don't put my palm up facing the sky or down. We put it just straight ahead, and this is what I'm going to do with the grip right now. I'm going to hold it up in the air with my right hand and put my hand out like I was going to shake hands with the club, and I'm going to grip it there with my left hand turned a little over on top of it, the thumb on that side of the shaft, a little on the right side. All right, let's try that a minute. Take your club, hold it up with your right hand out in front of you, like you're going to shake hands. Extend your arm a little bit, your left arm out extended. Close your hand over just a little bit and close your hand around it, into the fingers and into the palm of the hand, with the fingers pressing it into the palm of the hand. Now sole the club or set it down on the ground like this. That's right. All right, now we're going to show that the last three fingers are the pressure points in the left hand, so hold it up again like you did before, but now let your thumb and finger, your index finger and thumb come off. Left arm a little straighter, Lana. That's right. Now see how your arm is straighter and you're holding it so that all the pressure is under the heel or under the butt of your hand right here. If you don't feel it there, then readjust it and set it so you feel it there. Left arm a little straighter, Dolores. Out there a little straighter. Hold your arm straight now, out straight. That's right. It's a little heavy, isn't it? Okay, sole it on the ground again. And that's where we're going to start in our left hand grip, okay? We've worked on the left hand positioning now. Now it's important that we learn how to put on the right hand or place the right hand on the club to fit with the left. What I'd like to do now, Gary, remember we shook hands before. Now we're going to do it right-handed, and that's really similarly what we're going to do here. I can place the club out in front of me, my left. Imagine I'm shaking hands, or even imagine that you have a ball out in front of you. You're going to slap it out towards your target. In other words, your hand is flat to the target, and then I just place it in my fingers, see, not in the palm, but in my fingers of my right hand, so that my palm of my hand right here, this crease in my right hand, covers my thumb, closes right over onto the shaft, onto the grip part of the shaft. And I'm going to sole it right from there. Let's all try that. Hold it up with your left arm. All right, now take your right hand and placing it in your fingers, close it over so the hollow of your hand covers your left thumb. Your right thumb is a little over on the left side of the shaft. Correct? Now sole the club with your arms extended. Now you have a full-fingered grip with both hands on the place on the club. All right, that looks pretty good for the first time. Okay? Another way that really can help you to find the right grip, and a natural way to do it, is to just do this. Jeannie, why don't you sit on your knees just a little bit and sit left with your weight a little on your left side. Now let your hands hang right in front of your left leg, and we're going to rest the club so it angles over to your left leg right there. Now let's let your hands hang naturally like that. See how they're hanging just in their natural hanging position? I'm going to ask her to bring them in and place them around the club in her fingers. That's right. See, now she places them just the way her hands hangs naturally. Now take your hands off and just let them hang. See, that's a natural hanging position. Do it again. Now if her hand came on in this position, like this, and she took her hand off, you see her hand doesn't hang naturally that way. It hangs this way. So that's another way that you can check yourself. Lay it against your leg, take your hands off, all right, put them on, and there's a natural hanging grip position. It's a very easy way to find the grip and a good way to find the grip positioning for your hands.
Here's the grip from above. Count the knuckles you can see on your left hand. You may see 2 or even 3. As your swing gets stronger, you may want to bring your left hand around more so you can see fewer knuckles. But for now, keep your left hand more on top of the shaft, where you can see more knuckles for greater control of the club. But there's more to your hand position underneath. Many good golfers differ about what to do on the underside of the grip. Some keep all their fingers on the club like this, the full finger grip. Others interlock the little finger of the right hand with the forefinger of the left hand, the interlocking grip. Still others use this overlapping grip, the little finger of the right hand overlapping the index finger of the left hand. But always the club is carried in your fingers, pressing the club against the palm of your left hand while being gripped almost totally in the fingers of your right hand. You'll have to find the one that feels best for you. Strong enough to control the club, but not so strong as to hinder the other movements of your swing. Now, before you try to hit a ball, think about one more factor of your swing. In most other sports, the ball is moving, often unpredictably. You have to reach out, change to backhand, or in one way or another, you're always adjusting to where the ball is. In golf, it's different. The ball is always waiting. It won't move. It gets hit only because it's in the way of your swing. So you have to think about how far away to stand so your arc comes through the ball.
Now the last thing we need to do in terms of positioning ourselves to the ball is to do this. We have to learn how far to stand from the ball. And the way you can find this out very easily for any length of club is simply to place your hands in the grip the way you've learned, hold your arms out in front of you with your back rather straight or slightly arched, and bring your left arm down until it's flat on your chest so you feel some pressure here. Then bend at the waist and sit in the knees, and that's the distance you'll come from the ball. See, if I came to here, bent, and sat, I would be too far away from the ball, so I'd have to move up a little bit closer to right there. Jeannie, let's have you try it. I'm going to move the ball right here. Take your grip positioning the way you've worked on it. That's right. Good. All right, now she's going to hold up away from her. Out, arch your back slightly, come down flat until you're flat on your chest right there. Bend at the waist and sit in the knees a little bit. Now she's a little too far away, so she would move up slightly with her feet until she felt a little pressure right here with her left arm. Just a little more. Just a little farther. There you are. Okay, and there's her distance from the ball, and she'll find that with any club. Of course, with a wood, it would be farther away. With an iron, it would be a little closer. That's how you find your distance from the ball.
Here's another important check. Look straight down at the ground. Your hand should be inside the eye line, that line from your eyes vertically to the ground. Now it's time to swing. Your ultimate objective, of course, is the big, full swing. But in the beginning, take it easy and try to incorporate the fundamentals into your beginning swings. The flow of power, the turning in your upper body, and the balancing shift of weight in your legs. Easy at first, but the power will increase as your swing develops. Your first few attempts may not meet your expectations, but more practice will improve that. Remember, the target side lead. your muscles on stretch with that firmly planted rear leg. There's also the swing center. Holding firm and steady regardless of the release of power around it. And the forward shifting of your knees and hips below. And remember the arc you made with a paper streamer, because your arms were extended all through the swing. Target side arm on the downswing, the other arm on the follow-through. It won't come easy. It'll take time. And the plane, too. Your club and arms always in a constant plane. Back and through the ball to the finish. And remember the importance of centrifugal force, the towel a straight extension of your target arm. Think of the big swoosh. Make that sound. Once you have the feeling of the big swing, you're ready to take it to the practice tee to work on some refinements. One is the position of your target side wrist. When your target side wrist flexes in the backswing, try to keep it in plane with the back of your forearm. In fact, wrist position is so important in your swing that it's a good idea to practice in front of a mirror occasionally just to make sure of that straight, flat wrist. Not a humped effect like this with the wrist bent inward. Straight, a straight wrist, and not cupped like this, but straight, straight from elbow to knuckles. It seems a lot to remember, but soon all these factors of the swing will become habits, and you won't have to remember. They'll all go together, and you're going to like what happens. Now it's time to think about lining yourself up for direction, how to get in position so that your swing will send the ball to the target. First, think of your target line, the direction you want the ball to go. Now, draw a line from the ball to you somewhere between the middle of your stance and your left foot and at right angles to the target line. That's the ball line. Finally, visualize a third line parallel to the target line. That's your foot line. Your toes placed along that line form a square stance, the rear foot pointing straight ahead, the target foot flared slightly. Now you know that if your alignment is right and your swing is good, the ball should go where you aim it. As you practice, don't start with a full swing. Work on a half swing. Let it help you get control of your club face, the feeling of contact with the ball. Let it give you control of direction over short distances, and then reach out. Enlarge your swing gradually toward the full swing that involves more power. Reach back. Feel the stretch. Let your swing grow, but keep the fundamentals in it. Now, one more point. When you take that swing out to the course to enjoy it, you're going to find an exciting difference between the static situation of practice and the dynamics of the game. Golf is a flow of motion all the way from the first tee to the 18th green. To make the most of every shot, golfers develop a routine approach to the ball. It starts here behind the ball as you examine your lie, distance, and direction. You draw the target line in your mind. You feel the coming swing. A swing that drives the ball from the grass and soars it gloriously away. And the swing that serves you equally well in trouble spots.
All right, I got one. I mean, this will run late, but I got one last film that it's my favorite golf film to show, and I've shown it here before, but it's so great. It's The Huntsman. Enjoy.
Can't you read the signs? No trespassing.
Oh, no. All right, no problem.
How much?
$1 each group.
Only one good ball in the lot. Give you a quarter for it.
Got it sound good, mister.
Crocs are no good to me.
I didn't hear the step where the water is polluted.
How much are you asking?
$1 each group.
What do you think, Aggie? You know we're not supposed to. Well, may I see your merchandise?
Sure.
Come here quite often, don't you?
About every day, ma'am.
How's business?
Kind of slow.
I'll take this group of 3.
How you doing?
Not bad.
How many you got?
6.
Let's have a look. Maybe we'll buy them.
I don't think so.
Guess I better set you straight. We're organizing things around here for you and everybody. You're gonna have to sell to us. You see that? Gets us around to all the courses.
Everybody's gonna make on the deal, kid. We buy from you and we sell around to the different courses.
What do you say?
Here's a good one. At least $2.
50 cents. Cash.
I don't think I want to sell to you.
Kid. You don't want to make it hard on yourself, do you? Huh? Huh? Huh?
But I can make more selling to the members.
It's up to you, kid. Are they waterproof? Huh?
We're only trying to do what's best for you, boy.
Remember, if you want to work around here again, sell to us. I got it. Bottom's a little bit anyway. Is that a ball yet? Nothing. Oh, you left the handbrake off. No, I didn't. I couldn't have. You must have, dummy. Now what do we do? Eddie! Come on, get out of here!
So, my favorite revenge film. There's quite a few actually. I have, but that one is so sweet. I'm sorry. It was worth it. It was so worth it. What the kid did to those teenagers, those rotten teenagers who ruin everything with their adolescence. So I showed that film when I showed that the first time in front of an audience. When he's like jumping in the air in slow motion, the whole audience was like, it was like this thunderous roar of excitement and joy. That was not diminished by the fact that he basically ruined his idyllic summer at the golf course. But that's okay. It's okay. Thanks for tuning in today. We watched a bunch of golf films because I was actually in Naples, Florida at an Alamo Draft House grand opening where they have a miniature golf course, and they asked me to show films about golf. So that's what I did. Join us tomorrow, where hopefully all of the technical problems will have been eliminated. They will never be eliminated. There will always be a technical problem. That's just part of what this show is all about. But thanks for tuning in. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. You can donate via ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. Those are great ways to support us, and also using the super thanks button. But just sharing what we do and watching other films that we have on our channel. That's another way to support us. But everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Everybody take care.